She saved her virginity for marriage, but the man she trusted destroyed her in one night. Grace was a quiet church girl, a woman who made a covenant with God to keep herself pure until her wedding night. Then she met a man from the United States. He prayed with her, quoted Bible verses, called her my wife, and promised her marriage. Grace believed him. He flew to Nigeria, rushed to meet her family, paid everything they asked, and the traditional marriage was done immediately. Grace thought she had finally found her husband, but that same night, he began pressuring her. "You're my wife now. Why are you still waiting?" Grace begged him. She cried. She asked him to wait for the church wedding. But he manipulated her, twisted her words, and made her feel guilty. In her innocence, Grace gave him the only thing she had protected all her life, her virginity. 2 days later, the church wedding came. The guests arrived. The choir waited. Grace stood in her gown, but the groom never showed up. His phone was off. He vanished. Grace collapsed in the church. 1 week later, he finally called and said, "I only wanted your virginity." The marriage was fake. Move on. Grace cried for weeks, but God heard her tears. Months later, the same man was arrested abroad and deported. Every prophet he met told him, "You hurt a pure woman. Your life will remain blocked until you beg her for forgiveness." He returned home, came with his entire family, kneeling, crying, begging Grace to forgive him. But Grace had already healed. God had already blessed her with a good man who loved her heart, not her body. Grace forgave, not because he deserved it, but because God had already fought her battle. Ladies, listen. A man who rushes marriage is not always rushing love. Sometimes he's rushing what he wants to take. Value yourself. Know a man's character before you give him your body, your trust, or your future. If you were Grace, would you forgive him? Like, comment, subscribe, or follow and share. Your support will make the page grow.